What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I will be removing the tint from my headlights, but before I do, give me literally 2 minutes to give you a very quick update on the wrap removal process and some other things that are going on with the car. I would make that a separate video, but it's really not long enough. So here's my car. You can see I removed my rear wing and I actually threw down some vinyl temporarily to cover up the holes because the rear wing has like 10-12 holes, bolts that go through the trunk, and I don't want it to leak. And you could actually see how much my wrap has faded and changed colors because it is very different from the brand new wrap. Aside from that, I have my rear wing on the ground. It is split open. I have some screws and bolts that rusted, so I need to get new hardware for that. Obviously, I have the parent wing stiffies. Those need to come out. The wrap needs to come off. I also have my, I believe this is from Carbon Craft, carbon fiber rear license plate frame surround piece, whatever, that has some cracking and it needs to be re-clear coated. That's very low on my list of things to do, but it would be a nice touch. Rear diffuser is removed. I need to rivet some of those brackets in again. They need to be secured better. Other than that, that's going great. I need to power wash that, clean it up, scrub it up, make it look good. Front bumper is removed. Front bumper is going away. I'm getting a brand new front bumper. The trim pieces I am keeping, those have been removed and I need to remove the wrap from them. Unfortunately, the centerpiece is cracked. I don't know why. It's like a common issue with the Hawkeyes that centerpiece cracks, and I know the side pieces tend to crack too. I've had probably 3 different center grills and all of them have cracked in that same area. That's where it bolts to the car. There's a screw right there. So unfortunately, I'm probably not getting a new one. That's too much money, but I need to fix that and you know, repair it, make it look good before I re-wrap it again. I have my front lip over there, which I'm not going to show you, but that has a crack that needs to get fixed. I'll show you guys how to do that. My last video on, there's crap everywhere. My last video on the front lip showing how to repair it was a hit. Obviously, that's an issue that a lot of people have and they want to know how to do that. So I'll show you guys how I repair that when the time comes. Keep an eye out for that. My engine hood latch is going away. This one is rusted, and if you look at the end, it's like all rusted. However, they routed it whenever this car was fixed, because this has been in multiple accidents. They decided to route it in the wrong way, basically, and it created a pinch point and it rusted. So I cut that out. Fortunately, I don't need that. I have my hood pins that I will be using temporarily. The factory intake. This is something that I have not had on my car in many, many years, and I miss it. So I'm actually going to reinstall that, and I'm going to build a cold air box. Right now I have my K&N Typhoon short ram intake. Not a big fan of the intake, but it was on the car when I bought it, and I just kept it. I probably am going to go with a Cobb SF intake and either have a box or build a box or whatever. And if you're an OG to this channel, then you know I actually had the front bumper with a hose routed for cold air, even more cold air. So I could have the intake plus that, give me nice, cold, crispy air directly to the intake. So that is the update that I have for you as far as that goes. Today, we are removing this headlight tint. So this is, I believe, a Vivid product, and it didn't hold up well. It stayed on too long. I will give them that. That was on me. That was my bad. Other than that, it's literally baked on the car. Now, on the passenger side, I already removed this the other day. I put in several hours, hard work, hard hours of removing this tint, and I actually had to use literally a metal scraper. I did get some plastic scrapers, plastic razor blades in today, but we're going to remove that. And then I also got a kit to restore these. So these are gonna get probably sanded down a little bit, polished up, and then clear coated, which I will show you in this video. I probably won't have time to do everything today, but I'll roll it into one video so that you guys are not lost. So if you want to know how to restore your headlights, this is how you do it. But as you can tell, the driver's side is much better. On another note, this bracket here for the headlight has always been bad. I don't know why. It loves to break. I think I still have that piece somewhere. If I can't reuse that piece, I will build a new bracket for it at some point. That is also not a priority today. Lastly, before we get into these headlights and fixing them, my passenger side mirror unfortunately has a crack in it. You could see And that crack is because whenever I wrapped this car, I sheared off a bolt and I didn't replace it. I had to drill it out and I didn't do that. And I think just from the Subi rumble, just from driving, you could see that my mirror kind of moves back and forth a little bit. And that was enough to cause enough vibration to crack the mirror. Unfortunately, Prova no longer makes these mirrors, so I have to replace that. Look forward to a video on how to repair cracks in glass and cracks in mirrors. That's basically what I have. We are going to get to this headlight, and then I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to part 2 of my headlight restoration project. In the first day, I obviously just removed the tint on my headlights. That's really all I had time for. Today, we are going to get to refinishing them and polishing them. And I didn't do that prior because of two things. One, I didn't have time for it in the days. It's been like 3 days. I didn't have any days that I had enough time to do it. And number two is, as per the kit that I have here, this Sylvania kit, which we're going to get into in a second, you're not supposed to apply it in direct sunlight. So obviously, if it's direct sunlight, I'm not going to do it. Today, it is perfect. It's like 7 o'clock. I still have sun, but my car is out of direct sunlight. So I was actually working on my grandmother's car earlier today, and you'll see that in other videos. She needed some things done to be ready for an inspection. And I know I wear these shirts all the time. As being a veteran, I have like a ton of them, and they are perfect for working on cars because I'm never going to wear this out in public. But anyway, here's what we have. We, like I said, removed the tint on the headlights. Now, step 2 is to polish them, refinish them, and then finally we are going to clear them. You need to put some type of sealant or clear coat on it to protect it from UV light. That's what causes them to yellow, into crack, into fade, and look gross. That is what we have. That's this kit right here. But this is an Amazon kit. This is from Pomsare, whatever. I'll link this stuff in the description down below. If it's not down there, go and check it out. Make sure that I put it down there. Yell at me if it's not there. But this kit comes with a whole bunch of stuff, as you can see right here. All different grits of sandpaper and polishing stuff. I have some finishing pads. So I have 60 grit, 80 grit, 120, 240, 400, 800, 1000, 1500, 2000, 5000. This is 10,000. This has no name on it, nothing. I don't know. Obviously, these are very nice finishing pads. And then we have some foam pads of varying textures and densities. So this is very firm. This black one is nice. And I have these here ready to go. So this is what we're going to be using. I have my drill. And I also want to point out it has 2 attachments, and you also have the attachments for a Dremel and some other tools. But I'm going to be using a power drill today. And we have a foam interface pad on these, which is very nice. And these are Velcro. This removes. You don't have to use that pad, but I will be using that. So that kit is awesome. I think that was like $30 to $40. I'll post it. It's in the description down below. And then we have this Sylvania kit. This is one of the highest rated that I could find. Project Farm did a video on this, and in his video, he actually shows the full restoration kit. They have a kit that has like these, I don't know, activator pads, whatever you want to say. It like clears up the clear coat that's already on there and whatever. I don't need that. This is the activator only and the sealant only. This is about $11. The full kit is $20. I don't need the full kit. I don't need the wipes that they include because obviously we are wet sanding. Also, I have Plastex, and this is to say do not use Plastex. In reading the instructions for the Sylvania kit, they give you very nice instructions. In here it clearly states do not use any compounds, anything like that that has oils or mineral spirits or like anything in it. it will interfere with the clear coat. I don't need that. So in this bottle, I have water and water only. That's all we're doing is wet sanding with some of these pads. Then we're gonna polish it and then finish it off with the UV clear coat. So I'm going to apply this. I'm gonna pop on my headphones and you guys can watch the magic.
The wisdom that generates wealth is better than the wealth. And most people, if they get around somebody that's made, most people, if they get around somebody that's made a lot of money in real estate, then they'll say, especially preachers and ministry people are the absolute worst at this. If they smell money, they don't have any interest in the person. They don't have any interest in what they know. That guy made a lot of money in real estate, and he invited me to lunch. I'm going to tell him, some of the needs that our ministry has. He has the ability to write a big check. And you repel people because A, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to use people for an ATM machine hoping they'll give you some money. B, it's stupid because whatever money they give you will be exhausted. $200,000 is not going to last you. There was a couple that went to one of the churches that I was going to before I pastored years ago, and they got some kind of inheritance. And when I say inheritance, I'm talking like not that much money, like $26,000, I think it was. So they didn't have much money, neither did I. So when you have like $400 in the bank and somebody gives you $26,000, you feel like putting on a black top hat, a monocle, and a cane and walking around like the Monopoly guy for the rest of the day. And that's what they did. They probably, I would guess, they'd have about $400 to $800 to their name. They were married with a kid or two, and then they get this $26,000. Well, let me tell you, next Sunday, you knew they had got $26,000 because they were wearing all of it. They looked like a NASCAR driver that was sponsored by Neiman Marcus brands. Just every brand you can think of. I remember she wore big Prada sunglasses with a brand new Louis Vuitton purse and walked up. And 6 weeks, I'm not making this up because I was friends with people that were in the administration of the church. 6 weeks later, they got a call asking if they could get on the benevolence program to get food from the church. And they said, oh, we thought you just got that inheritance. Yeah, it's gone because that's not continual income. It's one thing if they got an inheritance of $26,000 and they're going to get $26,000 every month. You could blow through $26,000. Shoot, a value meal at McDonald's is like $11 now. Me, Adonis, and Camila went to McDonald's, and when they said the bill was like $41 or $52 or something, I said, we should just go to a restaurant and sit down. So $26,000, and that's without you paying taxes or anything. That's nothing. So if you don't, people value wealth, and you should value wealth, but they don't understand that the wisdom to generate the wealth is wisdom is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her.
Welcome back. It is day 2 that I'm working on these headlights. In actual time, it's been closer to a week because the weather wasn't cooperating, and even today it's raining out. So I just decided to pull these off of the car and do them in the garage, which is a better bet to begin with. I should have done that from day 1. That way I don't have to worry about any moisture, or as the instructions state, you cannot apply it in direct sunlight. I don't have any of those problems in the garage. So we're gonna get to this today. The last step that I have to do with these is apply the UV clear coat. Now, it's important whenever you restore your headlights, resurface them, whatever, you need to have some UV protection. Otherwise, they'll be worse off than when you started. Everything else is done. These have been wet sanded to a super fine grit, and then I used a foam disc to polish them. And to polish them, I just used that foam pad with some of this surface activator. As I stated before, if I edited this right, maybe I cut it out, but you'll see. Do not use plastics. Don't use any compounds like that, as it will interfere with this UV coating. With that being said, you will also notice that the passenger side headlight is way worse than the driver side. That's because these are not original to my car, and the passenger side is much older than the driver side is. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, and I think whenever I'm finished with this, they will be much closer to each other, and you really won't notice. I'm going to leave them set here. It says to let it set for a couple hours, but there's no rush here. I have nowhere to go. My car's still sitting in the driveway, so I'm probably going to let it set here for 2 to 3 days. There's no reason for me to rush and put them back out on the car. But today is the final step. I just have to apply this UV clear coat. I highly recommend reading all the instructions, but basically the whole step is apply the surface activator, then you're going to wet sand it, and then you're going to do that as many times as you need to. And then you're going to skip down to step 3, which talks about applying the UV clear coat. The UV block clear coat provides immediate clarity and dries to a hard, durable coating. It contains active and passive UV blockers for long-lasting protection to your restored headlights. Check to be sure all moisture is removed from all areas around the headlight lens. Then you are going to tear off one of these. You're going to fold it up and apply this. It gives you very specific instructions on that. Note, the thicker the coating, the better. Take care to thoroughly soak the entire folded edge of the blue applicator and re-soak often to ensure uniform thickness across the headlight. Then it says basically to start at one corner and work your way down to the bottom. You're only going to apply it once. If you miss a spot, you have to hurry up and go back to that one spot only, and then continue on working. Drying and curing time. After coating, allow at least 1 full hour before touching the headlight lens, and allow 4 to 6 hours for a full cure. Avoid driving and water exposure, that is rain or condensation, until cured. Won't be a problem in this garage, and as I stated, it's probably going to sit here for like at least a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. I have no hurry to get them back on the car, so they're just going to sit out, chill, and then that gives plenty of time for this UV coating to outgas and set and cure. With that being said, let's finish up these headlights. What's going on, guys? It's about 3 days later. I wanted to give this UV clear coat plenty of time to harden and to cure and set up. You know as well as I do, sometimes for whatever reason, whenever you paint things or you have a coating, it looks good while it's still wet and drying, and then a few days later it will clear with a haze or some fuzziness or whatever. Obviously that's not an issue here. I just wanted to be sure of that. So again, this is the Sylvania headlight kit. It is the Essentials kit. I highly recommend it. I'm very pleased with the results. I'll give you a close-up in a second, but these headlights are basically like new. Obviously when something's brand new, it is immaculate and pristine right off the factory line. These do have some nicks and chips and whatever. They've been on the car for several years, probably over 10 years, honestly. They are very old, but they look like new. The lens is clear, which is the most essential part, and I'm very happy with these results. So with that being said, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.